Hi, fourth graders. Today we're going to look at some input-output charts again. So remember, our arrows usually go to the right or down if it's laying horizontal. And if it's going to the big, we times or add. If it's going to the small, we divide or subtract. So let's look at this. This looks a little bit different than yesterday. Sometimes they will actually give you the rule to begin with. So they're telling me the rule is times 4. They want to know which chart is times 4. Well, there's a little trick. Sometimes you can get rid of half of your charts because they're not even multiplying charts. Remember, the way to multiply is to get bigger, right? When you get bigger, you multiply. So I'm going to look through my charts and see if they're even multiplication charts. So let me explain. So go ahead and draw your arrow to the right. Did I go to the big or did I go to the small? Well, I went from 24 to 6, so I went to the small. Well, that's division and minus. So there's no way this is going to be a times 4 chart. So that's what I mean. You can already get rid of some because they're division and subtraction charts. Next one, I draw my arrow. I went from 12 to 16, so I went to the big. So this could be times or add. I'm going to keep it. This one, I went from 12 to 48. I went to the big, so it could be times or add. 19 to 15, I went to a smaller number, so that's divide or subtract. So this one's already out. So by just looking at whether I went to the small or big, I could tell I could get rid of 2 of the choices already. So let's go back to the first one. We're going to sing our 12s to 16. 12, 24. Oh, there's no way to get to 16. So this is not a multiplication chart. This is probably an adding chart. And if I go 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, they're trying to trick me. This is an add 4 chart, not a times 4 chart. Because then 20 plus 4 is 24, and 36 plus 4 is 40. So it's bound to be C, but let's check it. If I do 12 times 4, 12 times 1 is 12, 12 times 2 is 24, 12 times 3 is 36, 12 times 4 is 48, so it works. So I'm going to try 14 times 4. I don't know that, so I'm going to have to come work it. Yes, that is 56. And 16 times 4, that's 24. That'd be 64. Yes, so C is my answer. So sometimes you don't have to find the rule. Sometimes they give you the rule. They want you to find the chart that goes with the rule. So let's try another one. This one has a chart, a little bit different though this time, and I'm going to show you in just a minute. So I'm going to draw my arrows to the right. Did I go to the bigger number or the smaller number? Well, I went from 3 to 36, so I went to the bigger number. So big means times or add. So I'm going to try times first. I'm going to sing my 3s to 36. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, 33, 36. So I got times 12. And 5 times 12, I'm going to make sure it is 60. And yes, it is. So I know my rule is times 12. Now here's the thing where they're trying to trick you. Now you see this blank here by the 8. Well, most people are going to go pick B, and they're going to get it wrong. Because if you look at the question, it says how many ribbons for 6 containers. They don't even want the 8. Sometimes they'll put a blank here to try to fool you, and they don't even want that blank. So they want 6 containers. Well, 6 is not over here on my container side. So all I do is I make a new box. I put 6 on my container side. My rule is times 12, and then that would be my answer, 6 times 12. So be careful, just because they put a blank there doesn't mean they're going to ask for 8 containers. You better always go check your question. And if they ask for one that's not on the chart, then you make a new box and add it to the chart. Okay, the next one, I'm going to draw my arrows to the right. I went from 32 to 4, 48 to 6, so I got smaller. So that's divide or subtract. So again, even though we know we're dividing, we're still going to sing our little number to our big number. So we're going to sing our 4s to 32. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32. I got 8. Now I'm going to sing my 6s to 48. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42, 48. I got 8 again. So it is division. It's divide by 8. Again, there's a blank here, but we better check and make sure that that is what they want. So we're going to go look, and the question asks for 8 vases. Well, that's not 80, so they didn't want this blank right here. So again, they're trying to fool me. Now this one's a sneaky one. You don't see this one too often, but I want to show it to you just in case. 8 is not on my chart. So just like before, I'm going to make a new box, but look at this. It says 8 vases. Vases is over here on the right side, so I've got to put my 8 over here. That's a little bit different. And then I put divide by 8 because that's my rule, and I'm trying to figure out that answer. So what they're saying is some number divided by 8 equals 8. So notice on most of them, my blank was over here, correct? 42 divided by 8 is 6. 80 divided by 8 is blank. This one, my blank's on the other side. It's on the left side. So this one's what we call a backwards problem. When your blank is up in front instead of behind you on the right, you've got to loop it around and do the opposite. Well, what is the opposite of divide by 8? Times 8. So you're really going to do 8 times 8, and that gives me 64. And let's see if it's right. I'm going to write it over here like my new box. If I put a 64 over there, is 64 divide by 8, 8. Well, if I go 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, 64, yes, it does give me 8. So like I said, you don't see one of those too often. Usually the blank is always over here on the right-hand side. But if the blank is ever on that left-hand side, you got to do the opposite. All right, the next one. Here's one like before. We have all these different charts. It says tickets to the band concert cost $5 each. Well, I know each next to a number means times, so they're wanting me to find the chart that's times 5. Which table shows the cost to buy 5, 8, 11, and 13 tickets? Well, if you notice right here, there's all your 5, 8, 11, and 13. So I want the chart that's times 5. So if I draw my arrows to the right, did I go to a small or did I go to a big? Well, 5 to 5, I went to the same thing. 8 to 40, I got bigger. 11 to 55, I got bigger, but 5 to 5, I stayed the same. So that's not getting bigger, and it's not getting smaller. It's staying the same. So I know that's not right. They're trying to trick me somehow. Okay, I'm going to look at H. I go to the right. It went to the bigger number. Well, bigger, oops, there it popped up, means times or add. So I'm going to keep this one. 5 to 25, it went bigger. Bigger means times or add. I'm going to keep that one. 5 to 5. It didn't get bigger, it didn't get smaller, so they're trying to fool me on that one. So I know it's either H or J. So let's go try it. We're going to put times 5 because that's my rule. Is 5 times 5 25? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Yes. Oh, they both say 5 times 5 is 25. The next one, 8 times 5. Is it 40? Well, let's see. 8, 16, 24, 32, 40. Yes. Now this one is still times 5. 8 times 5. Well, we just did 8 times 5 is 40. It's not 30. So this chart is wrong. And H is my answer. And I can keep checking it. 11 times 5 is 55. And 13 times 5 is 65. So we got it right. So the next one, again, this is a chart where they already give you the rule. They want it to be times 12. So I went from 4 to 16. I got bigger. Bigger means times or add, so I'm going to keep this one. 24 to 2, I went smaller. Smaller means to divide or subtract, so this isn't going to be a times one. 4 to 48, I got bigger. Bigger means times or add, so this could be it. 4 to 48, that's bigger. This could be times or add. So let's go try it. 4 times 12. Well, 4 times 12, because I want times 12 to be my rule, is 48. Oops, I wrote my 4 in the wrong place. Well, that says 16, so that's not right. This one's gone. Here's 4 again. 4 times 12, that's what we did. It was 48. 4 times 12 was 48. So these two are still good. My next one is 6 on both of them. One says 72, one says 60. So this will tell me which one's my answer. So 12 times 6, 6 times 2 is 12. Carry my 1, 6 times 1 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So that wasn't 60, so this chart is gone. It was 72. And if I know my 12s, 12 times 7 is 84, and 12 times 10 is just 12 with a 0. So that is correct, D. All right, next one. So this is one of those horizontal charts where it's laying down. So my arrows are going to go down this time. Now, did I go to the small or did I go to the big? I went to the big. Big means times or add. So I can even go to my choices. I know it's not going to be this one because it says minus, and this one says divide. So I know it's either G or H. So I'm going to try timesing first. I'm going to sing my 2's to 12. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I get 6. So I'm going to sing my 6's to 36. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36. 6 again. 9's to 54. 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 54, 6 again, and 12 times 6 is 72, and I can do 15 times 6, and that does give me 90. So I'm believing my rule is times 6. And be careful with this plus 10 because 2 plus 10 is 12. But if you try to plus 10 on the next one, 6 plus 10 is not 36. So sometimes the adding one will work for the first column, but it won't work for the other columns. So be careful with that. They're trying to trick you with the, in my class, we call them bananas. They're trying to trick us with the banana. So that's the last one. So just remember sometimes sometimes they may ask you for one like this where they give you 4 charts and you just have to find the one that has that rule. Sometimes they'll ask you for one that's not even on the chart, like 6. So what did we do? We just added another box and we put a 6 there, and we still figured out our rule. So just a couple of new problems to show you the different ways that they might ask you how to solve an input-output chart. And then tomorrow we're going to practice again with yet another way they may change the